What's up, everybody? Hello, hello. How we doing, guys? Welcome. Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. How we doing? Hey, Tim's in the house. Hi, guys. Sylvia. Hi, welcome. How we doing? Hope everybody's having a good week thus far. Hey, Kelly. Hey, that's so cute. Tim is like, Sylvia. Thank you, Laura. I got you down. She's already on it. She's like way ahead of everybody else. Hi, Riddy. I love it. So we see that Sylvia and Tim know each other somehow through Inside Timer, I see. Hi, guys. Welcome. Oh, my goodness. So good to see you all. I'm excited for today. Let's see what happens. Let's see what comes up. And I have a brand new desk. Oh, yes. She has been upgrading, up-leveling, all of the things. The desk that I had before was given to me and I hated it. So she went on Amazon and bought herself a new one. And let me tell you, this is an amazing desk. I'm loving it. It's making me feel more like a boss, you know? Hey, Laura. Aw. Well, we welcome back. Welcome, welcome. So good to see you. I love it. All right, guys. How we doing? Hello, everybody who's new, by the way. I got you down, Reedy. Make sure I'm going to spell people's names right because every time I do this, then I can't read my own writing and I'm like, what's the name again? Thank you, Reedy. That's so sweet. Just started a dog sitting with a rider dog named Buster. So we're hanging out. Oh, I love that. It's a wiener. Oh, cute. They're so, I almost convinced my husband today to adopt another dog. I get the crocodile tears when I go online and I see like the dogs. There was one dog that I told him, I just started crying. And I was like, we have to rescue. And he's like, no, no. And I was like crying. And I was like, I have to rescue. And I was like, fine. If they don't, there's nobody gets her by Sunday, we'll go. And then I messaged him and like, no, she's been adopted. And I'm like, but that's okay. I'm going to go to the shelter anyway. I told him for my 40th birthday I wanted another dog. So he knows it's going to happen at some point. In a bit of a funk, needing a chance. Hopefully, after seeing you, you will help. Love your energy. Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. Sorry to hear that. I'm here to help you, hopefully. Recommendation from Buster. Oh, that's cute, Tim. Yes, book recommendations. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Hi, welcome. For those of you I knew, my name's Jacqueline. I do these readings once a week if I have time. Usually I do. So how it starts is very simple. I already have 2 donations. So Laura will be first and then Reedy will be second. Of course, donations are not expected, but essentially if people give donations, they just lock their position in. There's just a bit of a list and they get a little bit of a longer reading. But I will start off with a group energy reading first and foremost. I promise you, if you're here, there will be stuff that will be like, aha, or sometimes you'll feel like the reading is for you, even though you didn't pay for it. I promise you. And we have a lot of fun. We get silly here. And I have quite the sense of humor. Also, Tim is my side DJ, so he will always chime in occasionally and say something really funny. Yes, Emily. So I'm going to start off with the collective reading. Okay, so let's begin. I'm just going to take a moment. Oh, and by the way, I've been ending now the sessions with with a meditation as well. So these do go quiet for a bit. If you really want a reading and you don't want to give a donation, just come back towards the end or just hang out the whole time. Just have me yapping in the background. Okay. Oh, thank you, Reedy. You love my Oracle deck. Thank you so much. I just had my first big order, by the way. It's been weird. I've been getting like big orders lately, so it's been so cool. I'm like, yes, manifesting. Okay, so let me just tune in to everybody right now. This is a collective reading for the next week for anything energetically that's coming up for the highest good of all. So let's see what. Oh, okay, that was strong. I also am drinking Coke Zero. Do not judge me right now. Okay, I don't usually drink it ever, but once in a while I'll crave it. So if you judge me, whatever. I'm actually usually healthy. I'm usually having like a tea or like green tea or chamomile, and today I'm like, Coke Zero. All right, let's see. Ooh, I like this, guys. Oh, okay. I got excited too quickly. It was like a happy card and then a sad card. All right, so. Hmm. Okay, so the first card that we got is opportunity. So I did yay because I actually do feel like for some of you things are changing in the sense of like new things are coming in, new opportunities. There's new energy shift. However, we get unexpected revelation. So one thing that we have to understand when it comes to manifesting or change, there's cause and effect. So oftentimes when we manifest, one of the rules of manifestation is there's actually a level of sacrifice. Now, when I talk about sacrifice, it doesn't always have to be this tragic, horrible thing. Sometimes it is, though. But it is part of the law. Again, the best way I can describe it is let's just say you start a new job. Your sacrifice could be maybe you have to work longer hours, you have to learn new skills, or you want to make a lot of money, but therefore you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school, and therefore you have to sacrifice a few years of your life to get there. The point is, there's always some level of sacrifice. So, what I'm hearing here is that sometimes when the new opportunity comes in, there can be something like some kind of a shift or some feeling of a loss. But again, that's usually coming from attachment. So, what I'm hearing here is don't attach yourself to anything. When the new energy comes in, just be open and understand that this is all just leading you to the next level. Um, I feel like sometimes even when we look back, you know, when there's been like a big change that happened and like a beautiful opportunity, sometimes a bad thing happens before, or you feel like you've lost something, and then suddenly this thing changes and upgrades your life. So again, shift comes with cause and effect. The point that I'm trying to make here. So understand that this is for a lot of you. And then the other one is just again putting the past behind. So I feel like a lot of you as well. This is like I'm hearing attachment. So maybe some of you are having some past memories coming up as well. Attachment to some kind of outcome, expectation, but even to the past. So it's almost like you're still carrying that energy, that like, oh, I just wish that it would have gone differently and that kind of stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of reminiscing of the past and holding on to that energy, which isn't. I mean, again, I get it, but the past is the past. We can't change the past. We can change our attitude about it, our perception about it, and what we do with that energy moving forward. So if you, what I'm hearing here, it's time to move on. It's time to upgrade. It's time to shift, because it's almost like I always, my favorite thing to say, it's like, I'm not going to let my past torture me in the present and therefore still be in my future. You know, it's like, I can only use it to empower me. I can only use it to become wiser. It's just like you have this weight carrying with you, trying to get and move forward, but you have like this 10-pound weight. Well, 10 pounds not that heavy. 200-pound weight, you know, just dragging it along while you're trying to be happy, while you're trying to be successful. And then there's the still thing on your past that it's just like still weighing you down. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So I feel like for some of you, it's just a matter of like, I know it's easier said than done, just let it go. It's not that easy. But the point that I'm trying to hear here is like, how can we shift our perspective of this and use it in our favor? Um, okay, for the details of that, we can get into it because I'm sure it's going to come up in the reading, because I can't, there's too much information coming through at once. So it's like impossible for me to give you like one specific thing. I'm trying to think of something that maybe I used for myself. Right now, it's not coming to me, but we'll get to it. All right, so that was the energy reading. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know. But Laura, you're first up. What's your question, my love? And then, of course, I have to balance it out with my crystal water, you know. You know, it's pure balance. Okay, so let's see what's coming up. And I hope everybody's doing well. Hello, welcome everybody. Hi, hi. Letting go of my old self and habits seem to be ongoing and happens in waves. Yes. You also have to understand, Tim, that that when you're letting go of something, the ego is going to really fight you to hold on to it. It's going to constantly bring back situations, emotions, moments where it's going to try and trigger you, because it does not like change. because it's not comfortable. It's almost like when you start changing, it's like you're elevating the temperature. So you're used to your temperature being at 70 degrees and suddenly you're elevated to 80 degrees. It's very uncomfortable until that becomes a comfortable place. So it's like you elevate it and then your ego just goes, no, 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 it's too hot, it's too dangerous, too scary, bring it back down. We're comfortable here. So it's very normal for that back and forth, but eventually it'll just become easier and more comfortable, and eventually you just settle in. Laura, I'm just checking if you're hearing me. Waiting for your question, my love. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, so that's normal. I had, like, for me, it's even random stuff. Like, I've been, as some of you guys know, I've been healing a lot of my stuff with my family. And, I woke up the other day. Somehow, all of these memories from my mother, like stuff that she did when I was younger that I totally forgot about, all this negative things that basically she did suddenly in my dream state came up. So when I woke up, I had all of these downloads and I'm like, what the hell, man? I was like, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to go down that road. I just managed to let go of some of that resentment. But it was like this list of stuff that I was like, oh, of course this showed up. It's just memories coming to the surface. General reading, but always most interesting in love and career, or do you want a specific question? No, that's fine. Hey, CG, good to see you. I can see your message now. Yep. Oh, you're so welcome. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to tune into your energy. So I will say one of the things that I found that sometimes love and career have can be related. Even though they're two different things, it can come down to self-worth. Hey, Bob. I know I had a lot of emotions and still do. Keep getting it under control. My manifest. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm so sorry that you lost your mom. Sending you so much love and prayers and good energy. I'm sure, like I said, she's probably in a better place. It's tough to lose people, especially your mother. I can't imagine what that's like. But it's part of life, unfortunately. And fortunately, I don't know. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. But sorry, I'm just tuning into Laura. Ooh. Okay. All right. Very interesting. You got 3 major arcanas, just so you know, Laura. And I will say, you did get the Lover's card. Okay, so this is a very good sign for you. I love this. Now, it's very clear. It's not giving me anything about career, just FYI, but it's very specific around love. So immediately when I saw this, believe in yourself, listen to your heart, do what gives you joy. So you got the Fool's card, and then you got the 8 of Raphael. There is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you, a spiritual quest. So when I hear these 2 cards together, essentially what I'm hearing is that first and foremost, there has to be a bit of a shift with your attachment to love, with your expectations about love, with your programming around love, all that sort of stuff. It's basically a shift in perspective and an attitude in the way you approach it. So when I heard this first and foremost, it's like, it was very clear. It's like, listen to your heart, do what gives you joy. Oftentimes what happens with love, guys, when we have had, number one, bad experiences, we've had our heart broken, we subconsciously create these like negative imprints within us, and suddenly we think that love has to be difficult, there's no man out there, so we basically imprint negative things, and we have a level of maybe a little bit of resentment. It's like, why can she get somebody and I can't? Sometimes these things just kind of build up within us. And again, they could be very subconscious. They're very normal human reactions. And I don't want you guys, anybody, to judge themselves for that as well. Like, if those are the thoughts that you have, trust me, we've all had it. We've all got our negatives. So this is not a time to judge yourself. But I will say it's important to become aware of what they are. And it's very clear here that love, if you want to manifest something, so within, so without, the law of mirroring. So when we have negative attachments, it can repel this, it can attract negative experiences again. So when we shift that experience, when we let go of that heaviness, that resentment, that negative whatever, suddenly we open the doors for new energy. And we allow this positive experience now to come in, and possibly a new experience. So what I'm hearing here is that there has to be something that you have to sacrifice, Laura. There has to be a belief, a pattern, a behavior that you have to change, because that is what's keeping you stuck. And this is why you can't get, see, this is you. That's why you can't get across the bridge to the person that you want. Okay. And you see here, she's got gold. That's the sacrifice. Again, remember what I just talked about today, guys. This is a very secret of manifestation. There has to be a level of sacrifice. Hey, Janine. Oh, welcome. So good to see you. Absolutely, Janine. So I only have one more person after Laura who's given a donation. So unless somebody else does, hang around and then we'll get to questions for everybody. So what I'm hearing here is there's something that you're very, very attached to here that you have to let go of. And even though sometimes these attachments could feel like, let's just say the attachment could be is like, well, all men suck. Okay. It's still in your mind, there is still something that you gain from this belief. So I don't know what that is for you, Laura. I'm just giving extreme examples here, but it requires you to approach it from a place of joy and freedom and exploration, this openness, this no longer having that weight that I was talking about before. And guess what happens? This is not only just about you finding love, but this is also about, look how many major arcanas, by the way, you've gotten. This is also about connecting to your higher self, to the highest version of yourself, to the version of you that knows herself, that is empowered, that at the end of the day doesn't really need the partner, but because you are so empowered and standing so strong within yourself, you automatically attract that. It's, again, that feeling already whole. And then that person that comes in should be adding to your life. They should not be taking away. And I think a lot of us in general have had an experience where relationships have taken away from us, whether it's time, energy, money, sometimes emotions, whatever it is. That is not a healthy relationship. No relationship is perfect. We'll get that part, of course. But when somebody comes into your life, they should just be adding more value, adding more to your energy. Okay. So I want you to sit for a moment, Sylvia, and think about essentially like, in what ways do I feel like in the past things have been taken away from me? What beliefs and subconscious programmings do I have to rewire? Also, I'm just going to pin now my course. I do have a course on attracting soulmate. I don't know if you've done it, but I just pinned it below, so you might be able to do that. So these are the things that essentially I'm hearing, and I'm getting my ears ringing. Downloading information. Hey, Evie. I'm like full of ringing. By the way, guys, I'm waiting for a package that I have to sign. So if they show up, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to run out for 2 seconds and sign and then come back. So apologies ahead of time if that happens, but I don't want to miss out on this package because then I have to go and pick it up. Just FYI. Disclaimer. So is that making sense, Laura? It's so hot here in LA. I hate it, by the way. I don't like it. Okay. I think I'm starting to prefer the cold now that I'm older. So let me know, Laura, once you get a second. And this is for a lot of us guys, by the way. So I also have the soulmate there, that attracts soulmate. There's a ton of information in there for those of you who are looking for soulmates. There's a few ingredients in there that can really help you. My ears ring all the time. Enough information already. You're just downloading. I like it. I'm just like downloading information. It is helpful. Thank you so much. It is just very hard to pin what is. Okay, so that's good to know. So what I want you to do, Laura, is that you're gonna write. You're gonna do automatic writing. This is gonna help you get information because there are techniques that you can use to help you access that information. And again, this is the hard part, right? When they're subconscious, you might have some awareness. So it's just about, again, when you think of love, just think of like, you know, first and foremost, look at your history because that's going to help you a lot, you know, understanding like for me, love was always unsafe. For me, love was dangerous in the past. So I attracted very violent people, you know, so that was one of my beliefs, for instance. So I had to turn it into the opposite of it because you have to remember what healing is, right? Healing is the opposite of your beliefs. So your bones are broken, it's mending the bones. If you're unhappy, happiness is the healing. But again, it's a journey to get there. So one of the things you can do, you can get pen and paper. You're going to write to the aspect of me that is in resistance to love. I'm going to write it down so you can use that. Can't spell. Hey, Cassie, thank you. That is in resistance to love. Channel to me. I can't see if I'm writing a channel. To me and through me what I need to heal. Wow, my dyslexia is amazing. I wrote, it does words back to front. Okay, hopefully that's English. To the aspect of me that is in resistance to love, channel to me and through me what I need to heal. What are you going to do then is you're going to put pen and paper. You do not stop writing. Do not pause. Just let it get into a flow state. You can do this every day just to keep accessing the deeper and deeper levels of information. But essentially, you want to put a timer or you want to do an A4 page and just write until the end and do not stop. If you blank out and you don't know what to write, just write blah, 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 or write the question over and over again until information trickles through. It doesn't have to make sense, okay? So it's like, let's just say I start off like that. I'm like, bunnies. I like bunnies. I like rabbits. Whatever the first thing that comes up, and then go back to the question. Okay, so then maybe words will come out. Again, it's not about writing a letter or anything. It's about accessing that subconscious information, because when you write that down, information will start coming up. Okay? So I want you to try that, Laura, and just let me know. If you want, do it now while we're doing the live so you can see what comes through, and then maybe you can let me know what information came through. Okay, best of luck. And then, Reedy, what's your question? I was going to say something, and now I forgot what I was going to say. It mustn't be important if I'm blanking out. So I have a few things on my mind. Dad's health, bestie situation, which we've done reading for, and I'm just trusting and not giving it my attention and blessing it. Love and also business guidance on where to put focus. So maybe I'll go for general. I think so. Ask what the guides most want me to know right now. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Good suggestion, Tim. Yeah, it's important because these exercises, guys, if we don't do them, I do them all the time, by the way, the automatic writing stuff. I will always say the story that you can use it for anything, but I've used it for my lower back because I had lower back issues. I'm talking, I couldn't walk sometimes for certain days. It was chronic, terrible back pain. I would be bedridden for sometimes a few days, and I've had that for years. And I started doing automatic writing to my back. I would literally like to my lower back, channel to me and through me how I can heal you. Long story short, it led me to different things, and eventually I figured it out. And it was just that my back was weak. It told me, I am weak. I need you to strengthen me. So I started doing back workouts, and it completely fixed it. Something that simple that completely ruins your life. Okay. And if anybody has back pain, you know how bad that gets. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see what else. Sorry, guys, it takes a second. Of course, they have to fall on the ground. It's a thing with me and cards. They just don't want to ever just be on the desk. No, they have to go anywhere but the desk. Yeah, so Kelly, it's very simple. I would do 5 minutes twice, 2 or 3 times a week. That's all I do. Completely changed my life. Of course, my back still can get triggered. But yeah, so I just do like, I just even go online on YouTube, back workouts, 5-minute back workouts. There's a ton of them. And just follow what they do, make it simple, but commit to it. And I promise you, life-changing. I mean, I couldn't even get out of bed without like excruciating pain. So, okay, anything else before we finish? Okay. All right, so the first card that you got is renewal. Renewal and evaluate. Favorable assessment of the facts. Time to move in a new direction. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness. The positive resolution of a conflict. Hey, Sue. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. Then you got the Fool card, dreams of chance, and then contemplation. So, so a couple of things. I feel like you're when I got the first thing with the cards is that I'm getting that you're getting a lot of just this is everything that's happening right now is a lot of spiritual lessons around things that you've chosen to learn in this lifetime, which is why you're probably getting so many. But family is coming up big time. I just felt like I don't know what's going on with your dad, but I think you said he's ill or something. Yeah. So even with the best friend, I mean, the best friend came up, and I think your dad came up. So I feel like it's really teaching you certain contracts that you've agreed upon to learn in this lifetime. And oftentimes they aren't great. They're not fun. But the point that I'm trying to hear here is that essentially it's like when we look at these things from that place as opposed to from an ego place, which is ego place could be why is this happening to me, or this is unfair, or basically the human attachments to obvious things that we want things to be different to what they really are. Fair enough. I understand. That's normal. But if we can elevate our perspective from it and understand that this is just part of life, this is just part of relationships, and we are now learning, this is an opportunity for you to learn and navigate and understand, first and foremost, yourself from a deeper level, your emotional state, and human behavior in general as well. Um, so with the family, I mean, again, I just see big emotions, and there isn't much like I feel like this is again something that I don't feel like there's anything that you specifically can do about it. It's more about how can I process this the best way possible to be as supported and loving for those around me. Yes, I felt I was to teach me discernment and boundaries and mainly interrupt my pattern on overgiving with my bestie. Yeah. So, yeah, the best friend definitely came up. Okay. And I think that this is very, very clear here is a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. And yes, dad has some kidney stuff, just helping him keep his diet. Yeah, listen, diet and people drive me nuts. And says me, who, by the way, is drinking Coke Zero today, but I'm 90% healthy usually. It's hard, man. It's hard to try and get people like my husband drives me up the freaking wall because even though he is now at least vegan, he eats like crap. And he doesn't understand nutrition. He doesn't understand food. And most people don't, but the point is you can sit there and preach until the cows come home to a person that they need this type of thing and this and that. And he's a creature of habit. He will not change his stupid diet. And then the problem is he's got ulcers. He gets acid reflux in the middle of the night because he eats mostly fruit and sugar and fried food. Doesn't take a scientist to put two and two together as to why you'd have all these issues. I cook my food. He doesn't want to eat my food because he eats like a toddler. And I mean, he will once in a while when I cook something for him, but what can you do? And it's like, I can get mad at him. I can preach at him all day. Obviously, I eat a lot better than he does, but he just doesn't want to follow through because he wants to eat like a toddler. He's stuck in his ways. And unfortunately, it gets to situation, and I keep explaining it to him, is like, you're going to get to a point where your health is going to be so bad that you're going to be forced to change your habits, and then it's going to suck 20 times more when you could just implement 2 or 3 days a week where you eat healthy, and then the other 3 days you eat like crap like you do. That would be a lot better than doing what it because he's skinny. He's naturally skinny. He doesn't have to worry about it. I know. Yes. But with people, there's not much you can do, unfortunately. You can't force them to change their ways. You can only suggest, you can show them the way, and then slap them at the back of the head once they get sick and go, I told you so, Eventually, I don't know if he's gonna come around, but it's incredibly frustrating because it's like it's so obvious, but what are you gonna do, man? Anyway, let's go to your best friend. So I feel like again, this is also what I'm hearing here with your best friend really is this is not even so much about forgiving her. I think really is really about forgiving yourself. Sometimes with these type of relationships, when we feel like we've been taken advantage of or the person doesn't appreciate us, it's kind of like a little bit kind of like an abusive relationship where absolutely the other person should have and could have done better. But in the end of the day, when you really start looking back, it's because we enabled it and we allowed it and we, you know, also wanted something from the person, which is why people pleasing, there's the negative aspect of that. There's the positive, which is yes, it makes you feel good to give and you want to be giving. But the downside to that, this yin and yang, is that why are you doing it? It's because you want to get something from someone. Again, I'm not talking about manipulation and that kind of thing. It's just natural, it's an exchange. And oftentimes we don't have the skills or we don't think that we can get things from people such as love or attention any other way, and we find ourselves overgiving because there's this thing that we're trying to receive from a relationship. It's just normal. Excuse me. So I think there's a little bit of forgiveness for yourself as well, just to forgive yourself for having put up with it for so long, for allowing the situation to go as far as it did. It's hard because there are times that I think that we can always look back and go, I could have said something, or I could have said no, or I could have just avoided it, but I didn't. And I still put myself through it. And it becomes a little bit of self abuse because you're like, you really, yeah, you really, really, really didn't want to do it, but you did it anyway. And then you're even more angry and resentful for pushing yourself through something that really deep down you didn't want to do. Yeah, and again, forgiveness. Hey, Silverback, how you doing? So I feel like what I'm hearing here is like, learn from this again, really, like understand that in the future, when we attract these kind of relationships, sometimes what ends up happening is that we keep accidentally recreating it until we fully heal it. So one of the things that I'm hearing is like, what have you learned from this relationship? And looking back, again, you can still be giving. Okay, that's not a bad thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. But there were red flags. There were times again where you were pushing yourself. So it's like, what are the things you're going to promise and honor that you're not going to repeat in the next one, where you are going to put your foot down, because that's how you break the cycle. And again, there's like a lot of emotions and stress and negative things happening inside of you, and it's like, there's, again, you can't go back and change that, but use this to teach you how to create a healthy relationship, a beautiful relationship where somebody also gives back. It's so important to have that they're not just taking, but they're also giving back. And again, guys, when somebody has strong boundaries, people who just want to take will walk away very quickly from those kind of people. And it feels like rejection sometimes, but the truth of the matter is that's the protection. Rejection's protection. Oh, thank you, Evie. Hi. I had a little guy pass yesterday on a full moon, but it's okay. He needed to go. He was very not well. Luckily, I had medications, and I had painkillers that I could give him. So he transitioned without pain, which makes me very happy. He was also very old, and it was time. But of course, on a full moon, that happened. I have a thing with full moons, by the way. It's okay. I was actually glad that he was going because he was not looking too good. He had all sorts of warts and skin problems, and he had like, yeah. But he was very old, and it's typical with the hamsters. But he's doing good. Yes, but do you see the friendship get reset overall? Like, I'm hoping my change in the pattern will now resolve the balance and new dynamic can start. It can. It just says a relationship that continues to grow closer. However, I will say that it can also create, unfortunately, conflict. Um, because somebody's so used to you doing things a certain way that when you change the dynamic of the relationship, it can go either two ways. Either they will be on board with it or they can have a problem with it. Um, but it does say, it does grow closer. So I do think that you guys can restore the balance. And I also see a third person coming in, to be quite honest. I do think there's going to be an addition to the friendship. I don't know if there's like another person who wants to be part of the group or something, but I do see um, three friends. So I do think that might be somebody also new coming into the equation. Oh, thank you, Bob. It's okay. I have a lot of them. They transition. There are other friends, so maybe they help. Yeah, I do see somebody else coming in, kind of either restoring the balance within the dynamic between you two. It's almost like sometimes you need that extra person to balance out the group, because things are, yeah. But I think with time, you're going to be able to, like, the more boundaries you put down, or at least sticking to them, I think you're going to be able to see whether this is a friendship also that you want to keep following or not. Because sometimes, like I said, people don't want things to change because if they're benefiting from it, I'm going to get one more card just to get confirmation on that. But oh, that's nice, Marlene. That's good that you're sticking to your beliefs. Yeah, and really, really deep down, all of this comes down to you just not having self-worth. I mean, and I don't mean this in like you don't, I mean as in like, I'll just read the card. The flower fairies remind you of your inner beauty, strength, and worth. True confidence comes from within. Being gentle does not mean being weak, and being powerful does not mean being harsh. You can stand tall in your truth while embracing kindness and grace. See yourself through the eyes of love and let your light shine without fear. The world needs your unique radiance. So honor yourself, honor your self-worth and bloom unapologetically. So again, you have to remember that this is teaching you really about self-worth, and it's important for that because, and my concern with this kind of thing is that if you don't learn these lessons early on, you can get really tainted by it. When you allow people to take advantage over and over and over again, it gets to a point where parts of you are not going to put up with it anymore. And like I said, it's not just them taking advantage of you, it's also self-abuse because you allow it. Again, it's not a conscious thing that we do, but we do. And eventually there could be self-resentment, and then there's layers and layers and layers of things that can mount up over time, and it can make it even harder for you then to heal from this. So when somebody has self-worth and self-esteem and knows their value, they don't allow people to treat them in certain ways, or at least they walk away, or they just said, this is not for me. And it can be hard, I get it, but it's important to be protective of that inner child within you, that little girl inside of you. Again, I always say, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your inner child. If you allow them to take advantage of you, you're also allowing them to take advantage of your inner child. So it helps to put those boundaries up when you think of it from that place. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. Absolutely, it's a process, Marlene, 100%. Those of you know my story, like when I was younger, I was kept creating extremely abusive relationships. And then if she's meant to be, she will absolutely, or, if a true friend will want to make it work, and they will understand, um, you know, and hopefully, but if she doesn't, then that's okay. Not all relationships are meant to be forever, guys. Not all relationships and friendships are meant to be. Sometimes they're meant to teach you something, and when you let go of something, something new comes in, and sometimes it's better for you. So I would just say, give it a bit of time and just continue. Obviously don't go too extreme. Still be yourself, still be your loving self, but hold your ground on certain things when it's just taking. Yes, can we pull one more to confirm or not? What do you mean by confirm? What do you want me to confirm? Whether this friendship is going to last, or whether you should continue the friendship. What is it that you want specific? Just be specific in the question so I can channel that clearly. Holding boundaries may seem harsh to your past self, but over time it gets easier, like Dr. Seuss said. Those who mind don't matter, and those whose matters don't matter don't mind. Don't mind. Yes, that's what I tell myself also. A true friend, she will stay. If there's resolution, that positive, because conflict can also deepen the bond. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's see. But you got to remember, really, it does take two to tango. Okay, so there's only so much that you can do on your end. And then people also have their own lessons to learn. The 4 and the 4. So honestly, I'm not seeing anything specific around that, but I did get the Aladdin genies. So they're encouraging you just to be open to new relationships as well. I think sometimes, again, I'm feeling this like attachment to this person. Nothing wrong with that, but I think it holds you in a cage. So what I'm hearing here is when you get the Aladdin genies, it's like go out into the world, explore, meet new people, let it be what it is. When we want to know the answer, sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I told you yes or no. With time, you will find out. Um, magic awaits those who dare to discover. So follow your curiosity and let the journey begin. Yeah. Did the automatic writing exercise. I kept mostly writing, I am love, you are love, you can love. I think the subconscious belief is that I'm unlovable, like too much. But I needed to keep writing and telling myself I am love. Oh, you're so welcome, Reedy. Yeah, that's interesting. So then the part that you see, this is interesting. So if you believe that you're unlovable deep down, then that's going to tell you a lot as to why you might not be able to attract a relationship. It's because deep down, you don't feel like you're worthy of love. And so if you don't feel like you're worthy of love, you're either going to attract people who are not committed, who are interested in other things than actual love. And so we don't want that, Laura, right? So you can begin to think of it kind of like, I'm trying to think of like, what did I do when I decided, I didn't even make it really about love. I made it more about creating a peaceful relationship with myself. Um, because I realized I used to be so desperate that I wanted to be with somebody because I couldn't stand my own energy and myself that my goal was to just be at peace. And I think what it came down to when I manifested my husband was just that I was just like, I don't care at this point anymore because I liked myself. I finally found peace with myself. So I worked on loving myself. And I think that's what probably you need to. I would suggest like Louise Hay is a great one on learning how to love yourself. I mean, everybody's different on what that is, but Laura, I would say a simple practice that you can do every day is like, what would somebody who loved themselves do? And begin to take an action every day within that. It's going to feel uncomfortable because it's going to be weird and foreign, but the more you love yourself, the more um, you can attract that. And do the course that I suggested before. I didn't see anything with your dad, really. All I saw was basically that, this is really out of your hands. So it's just being that support for them. I didn't see anything bad come up with your dad as far as anything else, but yeah. Nice. Good for you, Eddie. I just sense that this was about deep self love and self worth. Yeah. And when you learn that, by the way, it's going to change your life, really. Thank you, Sylvia. I got your donation. I'll be with you in 1 second. So, um, when you learn self worth, it's a game changer, and it can be learned. That's the thing. It's something that you learn. You weren't born not loving yourself or not respecting yourself. These are things that we picked up over time because of conditioning, whatever. So deep underneath the layers of BS, there is actually the real you that knows that they're worthy. It's just doing the work to get there. Yeah, and it's like the layers of an onion, Laura. It's like always one layer and the next layer, and I'm still doing it. There's still times where I'm just like, oh, here we go again. But at least I've reached a level where I don't hate myself. The hating yourself is bad. The hating, loathing yourself, treating yourself like crap, that is not good. The best you can do is at least be neutral, not criticize yourself, not belittle yourself, not talk shit to yourself, basically. If you can get to that level, then it's great. That's my base level now. Some days I feel great, and some days I'm like just at the base level. Yes, so maybe the point is to only trust my learnings, and then she stays on the bond. She stays and the bond deepens, or I find more aligned best friend. Absolutely. Just be open, really. I think the idea is what I'm getting is just be open. Be open to new possibilities. Just don't be attached to a certain outcome because that can also create certain reactions, and it can make us do things sometimes fall back because we will, again, because if you have the people pleaser thing, guess what's going to happen? It's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I take it back. You don't want to do that. You don't want to step back. Um, so yeah, so just keep going. Absolutely, and that's the best way, really. But she has to also she has to respect that. My experience with that in the past hasn't been great, but that's my experience. It doesn't mean people won't adjust or change, you know. And also, I was very like with my ex best friend, who I still to this day love her to bits, even though we can never be friends again. Um, you know, she was lying to me and she was manipulating, and then I called her out and she lied to my face, and I just put my foot down and I said, enough is enough. Like, I'm not, this is not a good friendship to me. She couldn't be happy for me. She couldn't celebrate my wins. You know, if I told her that I made a chunk of money, she's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm like, what does that got to do with you? You know, so that to me personally is not a friendship that I can have. If somebody's jealous of you or is competitive with you, for me, it's not good. You need to be able to, like, yeah, you can have moments of like, "Oh, I wish I had that," and you know, that's fine, that's normal. We'll have those moments, but for me, a friendship is like where I support you, where I elevate you, where I celebrate you, where I celebrate your wins, where I'm happy for your wins. If you make $1 million, I'm like, yeah, you know. And if you book a lead role on a TV show, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you. You know, she couldn't do that for me, so that was bad. You know, yeah, I called her out a dig. I called her out a dig and said it very gently, trusting vulnerability, and she projected on me. See, that's what I'm saying. So it can be difficult. You can't expect, just because you're changing, you can't expect somebody else to change. So that's the hard part, you know. But I'd say just stick to your guns. Um, and she is in a bad space. If somebody's putting you down and having a dig at you, they're not having a great, you know, self-esteem moment. So, and also it could just be the dynamic, she's gotten used to that. So, I mean, again, just keep going. You'll figure it out, okay? But you're doing the right thing, really, for sure. All right, Sylvia, thank you so much for the donation. What's your question, my love? You're welcome. Yeah, not even pleased, man. It's like, be happy for your friend. I mean, I've had the other friend that I had who I also miss very much, but she was nuts. Can't speak for myself. I used to be nuts too. Um, but she would always be happy for me whenever I, like, the only problem with her is that she had very self-destructive behaviors where she would bring me down with her. So that was another friend, you know. But whenever I had it, it's like she would be so happy for me. She'd be like, "Oh my God, that is amazing!" Like, that's the kind of thing that you want from a friend. Again, though, and nobody's perfect. Everybody has the thing, but her self-destructive behaviors were very devastating, and that didn't work either because of those behaviors. And I had to again put boundaries down, because I'm like, dude, like, you want to go down is one thing, but you can't bring me down with you. That's got nothing to do with me. And she was intense. She was a lot, but she was a lot of fun too. So reading my relationships and the people I've been manifesting more recently. Regarding my relationships and the people I've been manifesting more recently. Okay. Nothing specific. We'll see what comes through. So this is the deck that I saw. Yeah, I can tell you guys a story about, I've had a lot of lessons around relationships and boundaries and healthy relationships. That was one of my major lessons. And now I don't have any issues with friendships anymore. I mean, again, not that everything's perfect, but I know myself well enough to know when to say no, when to say yes, and I don't put up with behaviors anymore. I just don't. You know, it's not worth it. It's also because I know myself, I wouldn't treat somebody that way. So I just, you know, for me, it's like, well, you do you, boo, but you know, it's not for me. I'll do my cards now. Oh, I'm sorry, Marlene. Yeah, family stuff is next level though. That's like a whole other layer of complicated, you know, stuff and triggers and history, and you know, so yeah. All right. So, contracts. Interesting. Anything else about this? Okay, so I do you did get Sylvia, Page of Michael, which is an exciting new challenge. You have what it takes to succeed. Review contracts or documents very thoroughly. But when I see this card, usually I see energetic contracts. So energetic contracts or energetic agreements. I do feel like sometimes in general, when I get this card, it doesn't always mean very positive, but it can. Um, Again, depending on the situation, because I don't have a lot of information, but that's fine. You don't have to give it to me. But I do feel like sometimes it can mean you need to cut some of the contracts, and some of them you need to reinforce them, or at least be aware of them. There is so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan, being watched over by someone kind. So I do feel, I mean, in general, like I said, I usually it's negative, but I don't know if in this case it's 100% negative. I do feel like there is, I don't know how many of these connections you have, but there's one specific that I do feel like it's very good. I don't know whether you manifest it, but I do see like planting seeds, and it like she's planting money, like coins. So I feel like this is like investing in a relationship, investing in this connection or something, and I feel like it's going to grow into something very prosperous. Take great excellence in your work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training. So I'm not sure what this one means. This often can mean to do with study, work, or learning something new. Not sure where that one came up. I'm not getting anything specific around that, but let me get down to here. So again, I'm seeing these chords, these contractual chords. Yeah, I feel like I'm not quite sure here. So I feel like, again, okay, so give me a bit of information about that. So maybe it's about learning. Okay, so learning about manifesting relationships. So I feel like some of them you have intentionally set, and then some of them you actually do need to let go of. I think that's the learning curve that I'm hearing here. So there's some of them that you are ready to maybe understand. It's not like expired or whatever, but it's more like feeling like I feel like it's like an upgrade of understanding, like learning about relationships, learning, hey, that's I kind of know how to say it. Janedra. It's an interesting name. Hi, welcome. So I feel like there's a bit of both. I don't know how many relationships or contracts or whatever, but I do feel like, again, there's a few things here because we did get the forest fairies and the mystical witches. Okay, so in this case as well, it's like talking about the forest fairies remind you to stay true to your nature and walk your own path, even when it feels easier to follow the crowd. You are meant to live authentically, not to fit into expectations that don't align with your soul. Follow what fills your heart and fuels your purpose. At the same time, be mindful of self-sabotaging behaviors that might be holding you back. Trust yourself and embrace your uniqueness and allow your spirit to flourish freely. The mystical witches are here to invite you to create a ritual that will empower you to support your manifestations. Whether it's an actual spell, prayer, affirmation, or any other practice, create something that helps the universe respond to your wishes. This ritual will strengthen your connection and align you with your truest desires. So I would say what I'm hearing here is that I'm not sure what you're trying to create here because I feel like you're trying to manifest something, or the point that I'm trying to make here essentially is that I feel you can basically create some kind of intention where you allow the relationships that no longer align with you to be released, and to essentially strengthen the bond with the ones that do align with your highest good. This does require shapeshifter. And shapeshifter can also mean feeling stuck in certain ways and needing to adjust or adapt. So there can be a necessary means to compromise here. It does take something from you as well. But trust in your abilities to adapt and transform as needed. I don't know if this is making sense because I'm getting a lot of like, again, these contracts, these like energetic cords, these attachments, these planting seeds. Some are good, some are bad, and then there's again the learning practice here of relationships and manifesting certain relationships. So let me know if that's making sense, Sylvia, because at least maybe I can direct me a little bit more towards getting some clarity here because I'm getting vague information unless it makes sense to you. If it makes sense to you, great. But sometimes it doesn't make sense to me, but it does make sense to the person that I'm reading for. Yeah, Marlene, clashes with the family are always easy. You know, there's that saying, the Buddhist saying that if you think you're enlightened, spend 1 week with your family. You know, there's so many triggers and things that happen with family and memories and traumas. And I mean, you could go on and on about family triggers and all that sort of stuff. So let me know, Sylvia, if I'm in the right direction, if you want me to clarify or give you some more information about it. Yeah, I spent a lot this year and last year on healing all my stuff with my family, but it's very important to understand how family dynamics work. Um, and the most important thing is understanding that you've established the dynamic before you even walk into the room, because your energy speaks before you do. So when we walk into a space, let's just say ex-husband, okay, or ex-partner, you're not just walking in as yourself now. All that history, that unresolved stuff is walking in with you. And what happens with family is that we create a subconscious loop, and it's actually very predictable what's going to happen if you really pay attention. You know, I say this, that's going to trigger them, then they're going to say this, and it's going to trigger me, and now I'm going to bring up this, and then I'm going to be passive aggressive, and then here we go back down to the loop, and we've created the familiar dynamic that we're used to this whole time. So to break that cycle, it's kind of simple, but it's not easy to do. It's entering in with a different frequency, a different intention, and having an intention and a different frequency. And when you catch that activation or that loop, you basically need to just react differently and change your energy before your words. If you can do that, you can change the dynamic. Yes, I've been living with a past partner who I ended things with almost 2 years ago. He's closer to moving back home himself. Meanwhile, I've dated off and on the past year and met more aligned people more recent. Okay, so this is making a little bit more sense. So I think what I'm hearing here is that you need to cut the cord with the ex. That's what I'm hearing. That makes sense now, because you're planting the seeds for the new intention. You're learning a lot about it, by the way, and that you have power and manifestation. But I think there's a part of you that's still attached to your ex for some reason. It's almost like, I'm afraid to let this go. I'm afraid, because even though it might be over the relationship, sometimes parts of us are not. So when we let them fully go, then we actually open up the doors for the new to come in. It's almost like, think of it this way. Your heart was an apartment and it's already taken. So until this ex moves out, the new one can't come in. So you might be attracting these new people, but for a full manifestation, it requires 100% commitment. And if you're like 50% commitment, then you're 50% going to manifest. So that's the adaptation. So this is making sense now. So you're planting the seeds because you do want a new relationship, but you have to break the energetic cord with the ex. And that means I just like to do meditations and visualizing. It's very simple to do. If you want to, we can do it now. And this is for something anybody else here as well. Let me know, Sylvia, because this could be an easy practice for everybody to do as well. And so I can teach you how to break cords. Understand that this is done safely, and only do it when you're ready. Don't do this when you're just forcing it or you're not ready. If you're not ready, don't do it. You have to be sure that you're like, I'm ready for this change. And it has to come from a place of love, not fear. Okay? Because when it comes from fear, it's not going to work as well as you want it to. It always should come from a place of love, in the sense of, if I break free, he's going to find his happiness and his match, and he's going to be free, and I'm going to find mine too. And it's a win-win for everyone across the board. Okay, so let's do it. So for those of you who want to break a contract or an agreement with an ex, with a friend, with a job, doesn't matter. If you can think of something, you're more than welcome to join us. If not, just listen and learn, so you can do this as well for yourself. But it is very easy, and you're going to repeat the words after me. I'm going to channel this right now, but this is what I've done for myself. So when you're ready, close your eyes. And maybe just take a few deep belly breaths. Just deepening the breath. And as you deepen the breath, you're going to slow down your nervous system. Okay, entering a state of peace, of presence, of stillness. Literally fill up that belly, allowing that energy to be grounded, to drop into you. Let it go. And I want you to speak to your mind, to your body right now. So in your mind, all you're going to say is relax, you are safe. This is the time to heal. I am ready. So you're speaking to the parts of you so that they can work together in synchronization with you right now so that we can make this as powerful, as strong as we're ready to be. And so whenever you're ready, I want you to visualize a beautiful circle of celestial white light forming around your body on the ground, okay? Now, what this is an energetic container, and it also is an energetic protection for you. This essentially means that you're only tuning in to the highest frequency, to the most divine energies for your highest and greatest good and for the highest and greatest good of all involved. Therefore, no harm can come to you or to those who are involved with you. And so beginning to see particles of this white energy moving up and surrounding you and finding yourself essentially inside of this beautiful ball of white light. And allowing this energy now to enter your aura, your energy field, cleansing and clearing your energy, purifying your energy, removing anything and all that is toxic of a lower frequency, and aligning your intention to be crystal clear today. We are also going to invite your spiritual team and your higher self today to assist you in this cord cutting, in this activation. Always do some kind of protection or energy intention before you do anything. Okay, very, very important. Now we are ready to dive deep. So I want you to take a moment to be with yourself, maybe place your hand on your heart or on your gut, wherever it feels right for you. And you're going to invite the energetic cord that is attached to, and then say the person in your mind or just visualize them. And I want you to reveal to me this energetic cord, where it is in my body, in my energy field that is attached to this person, place, or thing. And this is where you got to trust your inner vision, or maybe you'll feel it. You feel heaviness or tightness, or you'll just see it in your mind. You just know where it is. You're going to find in your mind an energetic cord shooting out from your body. It might be on your chest, your belly button, your knees, your feet, doesn't matter, okay? But just trust where this comes, where you see it. You're going to see this energetic cord connected to you, to that person, place, or thing. And this is the contract, this is the energetic cord that we have. And then you're going to make some kind of declaration to yourself. Now, most of you can make this up as long as it feels powerful and true to you. So for now, you're just going to repeat what I'm going to say. Today, I give myself permission to break free from this agreement, from this contract. I give myself the gift to return to myself, to my highest power, intention, and energy. I set myself free and I set them free. And when you're ready, you're going to visualize a beautiful energy, a beautiful gold energy moving down, another energetic cord coming from the higher realms, wrapping itself around that energetic cord. And then when you are ready, you're going to declare it. I want you to make this up. Just say, I break it. I set myself free. I declare myself free. I break this contract now. Whatever works for you. I invite you to say it out loud if you can, not scream it, but just out aloud, because then you could hear it. So I break this contract now. I declare it so, and so it is, and so it shall be for the highest and greatest good of all. And once you make this declaration, you're going to see that this cord gets brighter and brighter and beginning to burn that energy cord between you and the person, place, or thing from the center of it, burning on both ends, returning the energies back to one another, clearing out this contract. And you should be able to feel that energy returning back to you. There might even be a sense of lightness, or you could already feel that clearing out. And then just taking a moment of gratitude, of love, of presence. And then you can finish it by saying, "It is done. Thank you." And then when you're ready, that beautiful circle of white light underneath you begins to fade away. And as it fades away, it gives you permission to gently return back to your body, back to the present moment. And slowly, slowly expanding that awareness back out. And when you're ready, wiggle the toes and the fingers, and then come back to an awakened state. Welcome back. So again, there's different ways to do cord cutting. That's how I do it. And your intention and the energies that you choose are very important, guys. Again, if you do it from a place of love and higher frequency, you're always going to be safe. If you do it from a place of fear, resentment, anger, vengeance, that's a lower energy. Wouldn't recommend it, because then you're tapping into black magic there. So you have to be careful with what you use. So I hope you're feeling a little bit better, Sylvia. And also be aware, guys, that when you do this, things can change, okay? So cause and effect, guys. Always remember, when you make a manifestation, cause and effect. Oh, 1 a.m. in the Netherlands. What you doing up at that time, Ava? And sometimes it can be also very emotional, for some people to let go. So it's always different. Yes, Kelly, you can do it as many times as you need, to as many people as you need. I also do this exercise, the reverse, to strengthen a connection of some kind. Again, understand that free will is very important, guys. Okay, so you don't want to force people to fall in love with you or to give you anything that's not what you want, more to the intention of the energy of abundance or whatever, and so you can put that gold cord around it, and then it just feeds that energetic cord, and it amplifies and it strengthens it. Yes, I've been ready for both of us to move on, and I think he's too, but he stayed for so long. Yeah. And also, don't be afraid to put your boundaries down, man. I know it's a common theme across the board, guys, that most women in general, okay, I noticed that a lot of women have a lot of issues around boundaries. Saying enough is enough. This is not okay. And the reason for it, because we're afraid that we're going to be called demanding, bitchy. I don't even know what the terms are. I say, who cares, as long as you're happy. Like, you can call me what you want. Have a field day. I'm still going to be happy and get what I want. And I'm not coming from a bossy, bitchy place. I'm just going to say, that's not okay with me. I don't want that. Yeah, Kelly. So sometimes if the cord cutting doesn't work, it's because sometimes you're not fully cut it. So sometimes it can be like, we think we've cut the cord, but then we reattach it, or there could be reasons why we go back. So that could be it. Yeah, and men do too, of course, Tim, but in general, I find women to be the ones who struggle the most with it. Hey, Ryan, welcome. How you doing, mate? So in general, that's what I've noticed. I even find, like, in my husband's family, the women are just like, they're such it always baffles me, but they will never, like, if they don't like something, they will never tell you. And it's like, but why? Just tell me. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not, but they're trained to not do that, to not rock the boat, which is like, okay, well, whatever. But then they never get what they want, so I'm like, okay, well, you're welcome, Marlene. All right, guys. So I don't have any more donations. So if anybody wants a card pool, a free card pool, or whatever, feel free. Let me know. Oh, Jay, welcome. Just happened to click the live session. Thank you once again. Oh, you're so welcome. Very welcome. So yeah, so if you want a free card, or if you have any questions, now it's the time to ask. Okay, so I have Janine. I have Kelly. Ryan. Michelle. Oh, you're so welcome. And Jay. Janidra, did you want a card as well? Or you're just saying thank you. Marlene. Okay, so I have a list, so I'm going to start pulling out names, and it's just going to be a little bit quicker, but of course I'll still give you the reading. So Janine, what's your question? Do you have a question or just a card? And Ava, got you down. I see some familiar faces down there, by the way, guys. I know you're watching. So what's your question? Let me see if I can get one of my critters to say hi. I'm going to get Teddy. Give me 1 second so you guys can meet one of my rats. Teddy, come. You want to come and hang out? Come. Hi. Oh, he's a big boy. Yes. Come and say hi to people. So we can have a guest today. There's a little baby. Who is it? Are you a good boy? Yeah. There's your big boy. Yes, he's one of the sweetest rats ever. He's such a cuddler. Okay, profession. I have been in a 2-year long transition work and moved countries. A new project has emerged. This is uncertainty and nerve-wracking at times. Any insights to the rest of the summer and year for breakthrough and ease, I pray. Yeah, he's big. Look at that face. Luigi. Yeah. All right, you go sit here, buddy. Okay, so some of you are like, ah, and some of you are like, aw. Yeah, usually most people are like, ugh. I know, he's so cute. He's very sweet. They're like puppies, guys. You would no idea how sweet they are. Okay, so let me tune in. All right, so let's see. Yes, they are. And they bond with one another deeply. I've seen some of my rats, my last batch of rats, one of them passed away a few days after the other one died because they're so bonded. And I've seen that with my mice as well happen. So when they're bonded, they don't live much longer. It's crazy. People have no idea how deep these guys feel. I'm gonna ask one more question because there's something else coming up for you, Janine. I think this transition is a reflection of something else that's been going on behind the scenes, much deeper, and actually has to do with your inner child, weirdly enough. And there's a lot of healing happening. Okay, this is very confusing. I had to get multiple cards. So you got parent and child. Okay, then you got miracle healing, and then raise your standards. So I feel like this transition's happening because there's been some kind of a healing happening within you. You might have not put two and two together, but something happened on the side that activated something else. And it's basically making changes happen in your life. Remember, cause and effect. Yes, the healing. So this is what's happening essentially, is that you changed your frequency. You've healed something from your childhood. Actually, something happened. I don't know what. And it's making you want more and ask for more, and it's elevating your energy. So the old stuff, but again, when you elevate your energy, it's bringing in new responsibilities. So I think that the nervousness is just the unfamiliar. Okay, it's just putting you out of your comfort zone. It's putting you out of your familiar. It's scary because of course you're just like, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to, I mean, good at that one, even though I didn't like it, but now I don't know how to like manage this one. Are you okay? Oh, hi, baby. So that's all it is. It's like you're just elevating your energy, to be quite honest, and you're changing a lot in your life, which can feel very uncomfortable. But I feel like it's going to be good for you. I think that this is like raising your standards and inviting in more. Of course, it comes with more responsibilities and uncomfortable energy, but it is good. I will say, can you come here? Why are you hiding? Oh, chunky monkey. He's also losing his fur for some reason, which so what I'm hearing here essentially that they're saying you can start creating a ritual every day where you allow yourself to align more and more with the version of you that you are ready to embody. It could be a mantra, an intention. One of the things that I like to do every day, for instance, when I wake up in the morning, is just to have a prayer or a word or an energetic download where I connect to some higher energy and I essentially elevate my energy so that I can manifest more of the things that I want. So whatever it is that you're feeling insecure about or not, nails, insecure about or not confident about, that is just something that you just have to rewire within you. So I want you to think of it kind of like how what is it that I need to feel more confident or more myself, more comfortable in this transition, and just start allowing yourself to download that, deep work, very deep Akashic healing. I see what you mean, very unknown to, and impatience. Yeah. But it is changing, and you are just going to bring in more blessings. It just takes time. And again, when you change the inside, the outside takes a little bit of time to catch up. So it's looking good. I don't feel like anything bad's coming. Just be patient, but understand that you've done some big shifts. So it's going to come with some big changes, but it's not a bad thing. Change is good. Kelly, you just want to hang out there, huh? You don't want to go anywhere else. I'm going to clean your eyes, buddy. I love you. You're very welcome. I know I'm going through a big shift, but I am feeling like I'm possibly blocking something. Am I? Oh, for fudge's sake. So what you're blocking essentially is the blessings to come in and also seeing the blessings in the situation. So it's almost like you're so used to seeing things from, if I have to be honest, Kelly, like from a negative perspective, because that's the old version of you, that now you've been making the changes. It's almost like you're still, it's like I was telling Tim before, it's like when you raise the temperature and then parts of you trying to bring you down again. So it's like when the blessings show up, it's like, is it though? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's just a coincidence. That's just luck or whatever. So there's that old self that keeps chiming back in, basically. And the problem is you're just believing her. You got the magician card, so you are creating magic in your life, but it doesn't come without challenges and problems and obstacles. And it's your approach to these that are just old and outdated. When we make a life change, expecting life to be amazing and perfect and divine and no problems, again, we all love that, but that's not the reality. When we make changes, the blessing in it isn't the challenges or the ease or whatever. It's our the tools that we have learned along the way to deal with them. That's the greatest gift. So you have to just change your attitude about it and remember that you are doing the work. And then it's like, okay, this is the old me. How would the new me like to approach this? How would the new me like to handle this? I'm not seeing the blessings yet. I feel that it is possible. Amazing. And also not expecting them. The change in itself is the blessing. That's the thing that we have to start saying. It's the journey, it's not the outcome. When you get that, nothing will be ever as bad. But it's a hard one because you're like, fuck, but I want that thing and I want that thing. And it's like, no, but when you understand it's really the journey is who you become every moment, every day is the the blessing, the fact that you've even changed, the fact that you're even doing the work, like understanding that you could still be back there depressed and feeling sorry for yourself, but you're choosing not to do that. That is a miracle in itself. It does take work, it is difficult. But the fact that you've made the decision that you're moving forward, that is already you winning. So when you can see it from that place, it changes your perspective. And now it's no longer this heaviness, but it's like things are changing. It might not be going at the rhythm that I want. I might not be where I want to be, but I am where I want to be because I'm not back there. Does that make sense? Yeah, and Kelly, honestly, when I healed my depression, it's not an overnight thing. For how long have you been depressed? Maybe for years, right? So to unwire that programming, and this is one of the things that pisses me off about a lot of the spiritual community stuff, is like, I had this miraculous healing and I never felt the same after. Like, yeah, okay. So great for those of you who can do it, but realistically, for most of us, it is a process. It's like day after day after day, taking, each day you're going to feel better. Each day your life is going to get better. And that's all that matters, especially if you have depression, like I don't have it anymore. Thank God. I don't, the only time I got triggered again when I got a concussion. And it sucked. I was like, oh my God, this is what it was like. I forgot how bad this was. This is so awful. But I have the tools to get myself out of it. So even though I went back to my old depression because of a concussion, because it triggers chemicals in your brain, I just reapplied the tools that I've been using, doing the healing work, and then eventually got better and better. Yes, I almost feel like I'm addicted. Yes, you can be addicted to depression. So uh, you got to figure out what that is for you specifically and what you gain from being depressed. This is a hard one for a lot of people to wrap their brain around it. But when I realized my depression, it made me very powerful. So again, I first and foremost was comfortable in my depression because it was familiar. Second of all, when I walked into the room, oh mate, you felt my energy. And it also justified me having a shitty behavior and a shitty attitude. So it justified me being grumpy or pissed off or not trying or giving up. So, not taking away that there is truth behind it as to why you feel the way that you do, but I didn't want that choice anymore because I was like, this is not leading to a good life. Um, my life sucks, you know. So I wanted to change, and so I realized I had to take full accountability. And I was like, look, I get it, but if I keep holding on to this, I'm going to keep recreating the same thing. So what if I let it go? And it's going to get uncomfortable. It's not easy at first. Because like something I'm like, what am I supposed to be happy? It's like, no, just be neutral. Again, be neutral. Don't be too happy. Don't be too sad. But definitely understand why you're addicted to it because that's going to help you a lot. And if you can let that go and just be aware of it every time and choosing different, then things will get better and better. And then you stop, like, you have to make depression your enemy and not your friend because right now it's your friend. And I don't mean enemy as in like evil, but it's like you're not serving me. Make sense? Ryan, what's your question? Oh, you're so welcome, Kelly. I totally relate. I get it. It's sad. But you do, again, I don't think you understand. And again, when you're in it, you can't see it. But coming from a person who's been depressed and who knows, it's like you can continue being a victim. You can continue making excuses, and you're not. You're choosing every day to change and do better. And like I said, that's already in itself a huge win. Most people say they want to heal, they say they don't want to be depressed, but they don't want to do the work. So the fact that you're doing the work, you've got to give yourself some grace. And also be proud of yourself. I used to high five myself. No one's gonna fucking cheer for you, man. You gotta cheer for yourself. It sounds weird. I'm like, I don't care anymore. I did not care because I mean, I also wanted not to be here anymore because I was gonna like check out. So I'm like, I got nothing to lose. Why am I giving everybody else's opinion of me and what I do? Who, by the way, they probably don't even care aside from gossiping here and there. I was like, I'm going to just be my best friend and I'm going to be my best friend. So if I did something great, I literally would do this. I'm like, hell yeah. And I give myself a high five or I give myself a hug. It was the best thing ever. And I don't need to do it anymore because I don't need to cheer myself up as much anymore. But occasionally when I do something good, I'm like, I give myself a high five. It's the weirdest thing, but it works. Oh, thanks, Bob. Yes, you are, Kelly. So give yourself some grace. I actually have a tattoo on my ribs right here. This one says in Latin, I never saw a wild thing sorry for itself because I realized I was being a victim. And so this was my reminder to stop being a victim. And by the way, I was a victim. Okay. But still, that victim energy kept recreating victim things. So didn't want that anymore. Ex parachute regiment and UK Special Forces. Being out of the military, I find I'm second guessing myself as I'm through a transition phase, self doubting myself. Oh, I feel you, Ryan. Okay, let's tune in. Let's see what comes up. Are you having fun down there? I'm not going to put you on the desk. I have a brand new desk. Okay, so Ryan, it's very interesting because you went from structure, okay, real structure, military. You knew what you were going to eat every day. You knew your routine. You knew morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You knew how to react. You knew how to speak, and you were expected and taught all of that. To now, suddenly you're like, well, I don't have this anymore, and I have to sort of figure out. Oh, wait a second. That was electric. And now you're just put in a whole new energy. Okay. Now, what I'm hearing here is that there were parts of you before that were different. As in, like maybe you had a bit more of an eccentric side of you, or a little bit more creative, or a little bit more, I don't know, offbeat, if you like. And because before you were in this structure, you didn't have time to sit with yourself and find that parts of you. But now that you have time, or at least that structure isn't as maybe strict, um, they're coming out, and it's making you uncomfortable. I think because you weren't basically used to it, and you don't know how to manage it because you're not being told anymore what to think and do and say and blah 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 blah. So ultimately, you're having an identity struggle and a power struggle with yourself right now. Not a bad thing, okay? It's just a self discovery. It just gets a little bit uncomfortable. And then you got being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate, a desire to move on, search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. So also I think what the reason why you're a little bit lost is because also before you were serving a greater cause outside of yourself, you felt like you were being of service, you were helping, you were protecting, you were doing things as well that was like a mission. And I feel like now you've maybe lost a little bit of that and you're not quite sure where to go about it. So all it's saying here essentially is that you just got to find meaning in your next step, and you get to choose what that meaning is. And it doesn't have to be, sometimes people think it's like, oh, I'm just working at a cafe. What meaning is that? But like, you can give love and energy to every single person when you meet them. Or you could make a decision that, what fulfills you, what makes you feel valuable and important, and find a way to sort of create something in your future around that and create a structure and balance. Yes, this feels very accurate as to how I'm feeling. So it's a matter of you, first and foremost, embracing the quirky side of you, okay? The part of you that is a little bit more chaotic, that doesn't have the structures, that isn't like used to being told, and just being, okay, who is this person? Let me get to meet them. And incorporating what you've learned from the military or the special forces, um, mixing the two and allowing them to coexist with one another. So there isn't this like back and forth or battle, but you've got to create that structure for yourself. You create the rules now. You're in charge. So there has to be a part of you now that has to understand, I still can have a mission. I can still be important, but the problem is you're not being told anymore. You have to find what that is for you. And then once you give it that meaning, you can pursue it, and it can change. But the point is, I feel like you need to feel of being of service, and you're doing something good, and you're helping, or you're doing something that is bigger than yourself. Um, But this is also emotional growth for you, Ryan, as well. Understand that because you're feeling a little bit lost right now, it doesn't mean that you are lost. It's how you grow. It's how you find out really what you want at the end of the day and who you are. So understand that as well. Like there's going to be a period of uncomfortableness, but it's going to make sense soon and you're going to find your way. It's just a matter of sometimes you have to know what you don't want and what you don't want to feel in order to create what you do want and what you do want to go and feel. Okay, so does that make sense? But just so you know, the ego stuff, when I talk about that, that is identity. Okay, when we're talking about ego, I'm not talking about being up yourself. Ego is identity. I identified myself as A, but now I'm living in B. So if I'm in B, but I see myself as A, I'm going to suffer because my identity is in A and I have no identity over here. So you just got to recreate a new identity, a new version of you. And that's the service and that's the mission and that's the goal. When you find that, then you can create a whole new identity, which is a lot of freedom, by the way. And it's actually awesome. And then you can find your purpose again. You're so welcome, Ryan. Michelle. I've got Michelle, Jay, Marlene, and Ava. So I'm almost getting to everybody. What are you doing? Are you being a cutie? You're a cutie patootie. Your ears are clean. Yeah, you're a good boy. What can I do to help put in real effort when it comes to dating? Easy. You don't put the effort in, you let them put the effort in. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one's electric today. Oops. Mixing some cards together. You're not from that batch. This one. Oh, interesting. Okay. So if you want to change things, essentially, you just got to change your perspective. I'm just going to read the cards. They're pretty self-explanatory. Look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. Okay. So, Michelle, oftentimes what I'm hearing here as well is that you're trying to be more and give more. When all you got to do is just be yourself. There's not much more that you can do. The hardest thing for us when we're dating somebody is to be our authentic selves. Our authentic selves is first and foremost the easiest way to find what we want and who we want and whether somebody really likes you for who you are. So I would look at the things, maybe it's like, how have I been doing things in the past and have they been serving me? And if not, sorry, but it scared me. I thought he was biting me. I was like, no, you don't want a rat to bite you. You're too nice to bite me. You would never do that. It's almost like upside down. An exciting new opportunity, change your life now. So again, it's asking you to change your perspective, change the way you've been approaching things. Try a whole new approach. Okay. I think whatever you're doing is obviously not making you happy or it's not working for you. So I would look at the things that you've been doing and I would just say, okay, what other ways can I do it? And also look at people who are successful in dating, who are an example of what you want. What are they doing that you're not? The other thing that I got here is that there is a new relationship coming in for you, by the way. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. So, I don't know if you're already dating somebody or there's a new person coming in or not sure, but I feel like if you want this to work out, just be yourself. Stop trying too hard. Stop trying to be bigger than life. Stop trying to do like overcompensating. I'm not dating someone. Well, you're going to be soon. You're definitely going to be dating somebody soon. So there's not much you need to do. Is just being more and more yourself. It's just like it's scary for us to be ourselves because we're looking at the good and the bad and the quirks and the things that aren't great, right? So yeah, so that's basically what I hope that's making sense. Let me know. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Michelle. No, wait. Michelle's you. Sorry, I was going to say Rose. I struggle finding friends that give two-way street vibes. I'm always the one reaching out like I'm trying too hard and I want to give up. Oh, I'm sorry, Rose. That sucks. Okay, good. As long as it makes sense. So, what if it's not difficult? What if that you don't have to give more? What if it's what when somebody wants is exactly who you are? Change your perspective, right? I am enough. And but you do have somebody coming in, okay? So you definitely have somebody coming in soon. So just change your inner dialogue and that's going to align. Jay, what's your question? Yeah, Rose. So the that's a tricky one. I would say, I mean, I have some friends who are like that. They sometimes reach out, but I don't make it a big deal for some reason. Maybe, but I would have back in the day, it would have really bothered me. And I also pointed it out to them. That's another thing that you can also say to people. It's like, hey, why am I always the one reaching out to you? Do you not want to hang out with me? Like, I've gotten to a point now where if, I don't know, it depends on the friendship. Um, so, yeah, I can pull a card for you later, but I got three more people and then I'll get to you, Rose. So maybe ask the question again in a minute. Just want to find more ways to be thankful in this life, heal, and become better every day. I believe I have everything I need at the moment and want to know what is more out there. You're not coming up. No. Do you want to smell? Yeah, that's a good boy. Hi, Munchkin. Hello, handsome. Aw. You're very welcome, Michelle. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll pick you up. Oh, of course, it had to fall on the ground. You kissing me? Oh, he's giving me licks. They're like dogs. They lick you when they're happy. Okay, so interesting. So just want to find more ways of being thankful in life. So first and foremost, the as far as healing, one of the things that it's just inviting us is to be our authentic selves. The more we learn how to, that's one of the highest frequencies, by the way, authenticity, which is very difficult. Again, this goes in with Michelle, what she was saying. And that means, let's see, I'm gonna read this. The forest fairies remind you to stay true to your nature and walk your own path, even when it feels easier to follow the crowd. You are meant to live authentically, not to fit into expectations that don't align with your soul. Follow what fills your heart and fuels your purpose. At the same time, be mindful of self sabotaging behaviors that may be holding you back. Trust yourself, embrace your uniqueness, and allow your spirit to flourish. So, what I'm hearing here as well as for you, my love, is like sometimes being authentic can be very scary because it requires us to do things that are uncomfortable and we're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of people thinking that we're stupid or silly or whatever. But for me, it's like these people oftentimes wish that they could do or be that free. Like, for instance, when I started like posting a ton of stuff online about my work and the things that I do, naturally I had fear of people judging me, but it makes me so happy and fulfilled that once I started being authentic to myself, people are gonna like you for it and people are gonna hate you for it. It doesn't really matter. The other one that you got is the incarnated demon card. So the demon card essentially it's aspects of you that are disconnected, and this could also be people. I'm just gonna read them. The incarnated demons are a sign that there is something disconnected and broken. There is a lack of compassion, connection, and empathy in the situation. Be mindful, this person or circumstance may not have your best interest at heart. This card is also calls you to look within and examine your own intentions. Are you acting from a place of love or integrity? Awareness is the first step towards transformation. So the demonic card essentially is also becoming aware of the parts of us that essentially are making agreements or contracts with things that aren't serving us. For instance, we were talking about before, like friendships, where a pure example of this is where You know, we put more effort into the friendship and we don't get anywhere near as much back. But the reason why we're doing is because we'd rather be in a crappy relationship than being alone. So that is the disconnection with self, because you don't feel whole, and therefore you have to create those relationships outside to fill that void. So when we can feel that and find that within ourselves, again, the authentic part of ourselves, when you're pursuing your authenticity, you're happy. You do things because it makes you happy, not for other people. So it's, again, this thing within us. It elevates your energy and it brings in that happiness, that daily joy where you're not seeking it from the outside, it's within you. And then the final card that you got is the magical people. If you believe it, then it must be true. But if you don't, that too must be true. The magical people are here to remind you that you are the creator of your reality. Take a deep look at your beliefs and release those that keep you limited and small. Expand your mind beyond what you've been told and step into the infinite possibilities that await you. So, Jay, it's very simple here as well. It's like, let go of what doesn't serve you, move forward towards what it does, and your life is going to really transform. But it's fulfilling that and following through with it. So I, for instance, have like very specific contracts with myself. It's like, if I get an idea and I want to do a project, I'm going to finish it. That's not, it takes me 5 years to do. It's going to take 5 years. I'm a person on my word. If I see that this relationship isn't fulfilling and I know there's the red flags, eventually over time, I'm going to have to let it go, because I don't have to do it now, but that's something I'm going to fulfill. If this is my passion, I'm going to do it regardless of what people say. So that's an example of commitment to self. And you will respect yourself and like yourself more because you kept your word, you followed through, and you've done the work. So hopefully this is making sense, but that's basically what came up. Oh, Latifa, great question. So I'm gonna get to you guys, Latifa, and let me just see. Rose. I'm gonna write your names down, but I'm just gonna finish the readings now and then I'll get to you, okay? Yeah, big time, Jay. You're welcome. Marlene, and I'll get to you guys because I want to answer those questions. They're great questions, but I just want to get through the readings quickly. I only got one more after Marlene, and then I'll be with you guys. And also, Latifa, that's been something that I kind of went through, I think, in the past. Well, I don't know if I ever knew myself. Uh, but again, there's nuggets in what I just said with Jay. It's reestablishing essentially a relationship with yourself where when you say you're going to do something, you don't abandon yourself. You don't behave like everybody else. Don't do to yourself what everybody does to you. So you're usually in a period where you're feeling ungrounded and confused because there is probably no security or nor consistency in your life. Since Marlene isn't answering yet, so I will continue talking. So the key to all of this is beginning to give it to yourself, to become your own hero, to become your own parent, to become the person that, you know, you hope to attract in your life, to become the very thing that you want. So if you want stability, be more stable. If you want more kindness, be kinder to yourself. If you want more clarity, then start setting clear intentions and fulfill them. And don't make them like these epic, like quests that are impossible to achieve because that's self sabotage. But like simple thing every day, like setting goals every day. And it's like today I'm going to say one nice thing to myself. Every time I catch myself something negative, I'm going to clear, cancel, delete, and I'm going to say something nice. Something that is doable, easy, consistent, and achievable. Um, so you're beginning to create a relationship with yourself that is trusting, that is loving, that is kind, and from there, the confusion and the ungroundedness starts leaving because you're bonding back with yourself. So I hope that gave you the answer. Yeah, I give up making changes. Okay. By the way, it's your turn, Marlene. Do you have a question? Consistency, yes. And also, guys, it's oftentimes because when we do it, like, you know how many projects I started and they're terrible? Like, I've done so many projects that never went anywhere, but for me, it was never about the project, it was about starting it and finishing it. You feel like you're sinking. What are you doing? You're being naughty, naughty. Why are you being so naughty, naughty? Can you be a nice boy? Can you be a nice boy and you calm down and you be sweet? I love you. You're such a cutie. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a card for you, Marlene. I feel like it's a little bit everywhere, but I think I know what you're saying. I'm sure the cards will reveal to us. Okay, so you got the demonic card, Marlene. So okay, perfect. So the demonic card again, yeah, but it's also again the demonic card. So demons, guys, this is an archetype, by the way. It doesn't mean you got demons around you. But the demonic card is an archetype. The archetype of the demon essentially it's that it's not connected to source energy, which means it cannot live on its own source, and it has to make contracts and agreements with other things outside of it to survive. And oftentimes that agreement isn't fair. They take more than they give back. So in this kind of situation, you could give more than take back, or you again self-abandonment, or putting up with situations, people, things that basically aren't in alignment with your highest good. And it's just coping mechanisms that you learned. Ultimately, it comes down to not believing that you are worthy and not seeing yourself in a blessed place. There is like these beliefs essentially that you're like, my life is effed, I'm unlucky, I have nothing good happening for me. So what I'm hearing with you, Merlin, you have huge amounts of negative self-talk. And the problem with negative self-talk is you're going to create negative outcomes coming from somebody who was the most pessimistic, negative person on the planet. I had severe negative self-talk. So the good solution here is you got the water witches, which makes a lot of sense here. Yeah, but that's also like, listen, if you talk crap to yourself, you're gonna make bad decisions. If you talk mean to yourself, you're gonna make bad decisions. If you're bad to yourself, you're gonna make bad decisions. So the good news is, Marlene, you just have to change the way that you talk to yourself. You have to change the relationship with yourself. And it can be done. I've done it. You can do it. So I'm going to read this card. The water witches are here to remind you that remind you of the power of water. You are made out of water. We are 70% made out of water. It'll make sense in a second. You need to be more aware of how you speak to yourself, as the words you use cast spells on the water in your body. Take your power back and speak words that are healing, empowering, and full of abundance. This card also symbolizes memories coming to the surface, and it's time to acknowledge them and release any old emotional patterns. So the old emotional patterns are the bad decisions that you made, which you're still beating yourself up about it. Okay. I get it. We've all done it. We've all had, listen, I've done some really beautiful decisions in my past. We've all done it. Okay. No point in sitting here and beating myself up about something that I can't go back in time and change. What I can do is honor my older self by promising never to do something like that again. So making the changes necessary to be better to myself, to do better for myself. And I've done a ton of bad decisions, and it still happens occasionally. It's not like, sorry, the rat hair is like all over my face now. You. So I personally still to this day do affirmations every single day. I either listen to them while I'm making my coffee in the morning. I write them down every single day, and it changed my life. This guy's trying to get up, by the way. This is a non-negotiable, Marlene. This is like life or death. Okay, so when I do affirmations, if I stop doing them, I start going back to the old self, and I start thinking negatively, and I start saying bad things. So for me, affirmations is like brushing my teeth, having a shower, taking medicine. It's a non-negotiable. It's a must for me. I have to do it. And it's that moment between myself and I'm programming my mind and saying, this is how we're going to think. We're not going back to the silly old self. This is who we are. Thoughts that empower you, thoughts that align with you, thoughts that are a gift to you. Guess what life you're going to create? And you can manifest with affirmations. One of my affirmations back in the day was, I'm going to win the green card lottery. Guess what happened? I won the green card lottery. It's a coincidence? Maybe. I don't know about the statistics on that, but I made it happen. I say words every single day. It's my ritual, it's a must, it's a non negotiable. And that's self loving practice. So when you start changing that, your life's going to change, Marlene, but you have to commit to it. Okay, Ava. Are you doing the little chatters? Oh my goodness, are you a happy boy? So when rats do the chatter and their eyes pop out, I know it's weird, but they do that. It means they're really happy. Are you a happy boy? I love that. Oh, honey. You're welcome. I cannot forget someone who I feel so bonded and connected with, although he said he is not emotion available and I let him go and didn't approach him again. Yes, Rose, you're after Ava. I will call your name after. Um, okay. Let's see what comes up. Thanks for the fur. Little chunky monkey. Oh, I don't know, Marlene. I lost the card now. Hmm. Okay. So, Ava, you are highly sensitive to the energies around you, and this is a gift, not a burden. Trust in your higher mind, which is always connected to the greater cosmic intelligence. The answers you seek are within you. You just need to listen, tune into your intuition, and allow your inner knowing to guide you. The Silkies are here to remind you that to be kinder to yourself during this time. There is a deep need for self love, even if you're unsure how to begin. Remember, self love is a journey you can learn. Through this process, you will discover what you truly want and need, and in turn, your heart will open to greater healing and fulfillment. Sorry, the rat's just like this on the table. It's adorable. The star fairies are encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new experiences, especially those that challenge you. Growth happens when you dare to explore the unknown. Trust in the universe is guiding you towards expansion. This is your time to discover new worlds and unlock your true potential. So, you're very sensitive to energy. And so, one thing that happens sometimes when we are connected to people is that sometimes that energetic bond that we create, Eva, can be very addictive. It's like a drug. So what I'm hearing here is that this bond that you have with this person is creating a trigger, an energetic trigger within you, which makes you addicted to them, which is why you're finding it very difficult to let go, even though intuitively you did the right thing. You just said, okay, this person's not committed. I'm going to move on because that's the right thing to do. But for you, it's a little bit more difficult because of that sense of energy. You know, everybody experiences love and connection on different levels and different ways. And for you, it's this energetic chemical kind of thing that happens. So it's just like withdrawing from drugs, basically. You crave it, you want it, you feel empty without it. It's like this deep void. So the solution to this essentially for you is first and foremost, be okay with being uncomfortable. Just like withdrawing from drugs. Sucks, okay? But it's going to turn out to be a great gift for you. Now, what I'm hearing here is that this is really how can I give myself that thing that this person fulfilled? What was that thing that this person gave me that I feel that I can't give myself or that I can't fulfill within myself? And the idea here is again, how can I give this to myself? So when we start doing that, that gap closes. There's no longer that yearning. And I do feel like, again, this is just teaching you a lot about. I feel like really honestly, it's gonna bring in a new relationship if I have to be honest. Like it is gonna connect you to the right person. And I think you're in a place also where you're trying to find the one, okay, the love. And you're gonna have to go through some crappy frogs. You're gonna have to learn a lot about yourself and what you do need and want from a partner. And this is making you reflect that as well. So I always say, by the way, when you want to attract love, don't look at the things that you want, look at the things that you need, and not from a desperation place, from a place where it's fulfilling. I needed a partner that was honest, that was loyal, that prioritized my well being, that was physically present in my world, that was gentle and kind. The wants, you can put them in there, but the wants will change. 5 foot tall, person can have an accident in a wheelchair. So as long as the needs are fulfilled, that this is the soul of the person, um, then we really know what we want. And sometimes we have to go through everything that we don't want to find out what we want and need. So I feel like this is just a really uncomfortable phase, but this is what I'm getting, is just you're very sensitive energetically. I think you did the right thing. If this person's saying that they're not available, why would you put yourself in that situation? Yeah. So be okay with being uncomfortable. Just sit with yourself. Be your best friend. Be kind to yourself. Hey, girl. This is what I would say to myself. Like, look, I know it sucks. I know you want to call him. I know you want to reach out, but he's not committed and this is not what you want. It is temporary, this feeling. It's going to get better. And because of this decision, you're going to attract somebody who's going to be better and more in line with what you want. It's not right. So be that best friend. Talk like that to yourself. It's like if you had a best friend who was going through this, what advice would you give them? Same thing you got to give to yourself, my friend. But you got this. You did the right thing, okay? Don't beat yourself up. All right, Rose. So you mentioned something about you always reaching out to people and people not reaching out to you. Okay, so let's see what's coming up here. Because it could be that could be shadow work, that you might accidentally not realize that you're recreating the same lesson over and over again, and it's just coming up because you need to heal it so that you can break the cycle. Oh, of course. Teddy, do you want to go back in the cage? What do you want? Also, why are you shedding? What is this stuff? I'm going to have to take you to the vet now. Interesting. So, Rose, this is teaching you ultimately about the fact that yes, you deserve better and it's okay for you to claim it for yourself. Okay. I think you're aware of it, but sometimes what we're aware of and claiming it are two different things. It's like, I know I deserve better, but applying it and following through with it and really declaring it and owning it are very different things. So you got the Cosmic Witches, okay? And the Cosmic Witch is literally about that. This card literally says you deserve better. 120% you deserve better and you know it, but now you got to embody it. Now you got to fulfill it. Now you got to walk in that energy. And it's not something that maybe you have to do on the outside so much. It's more about how you feel about yourself, about making inner decisions and anchoring in this choice and saying, I deserve people who are actually want to be with me and want to reach out to me and thinking about me. Next, you got the flirty energy, okay? So the dolphin people means it's like you're attracting people of a certain energy that aren't committed energetically. They're flirtatious kind of energy in the sense of like, ooh, shiny thing. Ooh, that thing over there. What? Oh, yeah, we're going to go out and do that thing. Oh, that's so exciting. So you're attracting people who have an unstable energy. So what you're looking for, sorry, where are you going? I'm going to put you back in the cage. Let's say bye to Teddy. Bye. I'm going to put him in the cage. Give me 1 second. Boy. Good job. Sorry. He's adorable, but he's gotten claws and they're scratching me. So, Galactic Knights, you want somebody who is like more like this energy, okay? Somebody who says that they're going to say what they're going to say, they're going to follow through with what they're going to follow through, that they're committed and they like, there's that connection, that deep connection, and you're getting superficial people, okay? So this is the energy that you want. So for you, Rose, the same thing that I say to people who want to manifest love, it's the same exact thing. What are your needs in a friendship, not your wants? Needs are crucial. And I will recommend that you do this course as well. I know it says to attract a soulmate, but you can use the same technique here to attract friends. Okay. So I highly, highly recommend you do it. Please make sure that you sign up, because I'm telling you, this is going to give you some nuggets. So whatever I say about soulmate, just change it to friends, and it'll make sense. So you got to know what you want, and you got to be clear about what you want and need. And when you see anybody who doesn't fulfill that energy, don't commit. You're very invested and you're very committed because you are a person who is wanting first and foremost that connection. Also, you follow through with what you say, so it's almost like you're a warrior around a bunch of like children. I don't know how else to like put the two energies together. Just the energies are not the same. So you want people who are similar energy to you in the sense of like that like to reach out, that like to connect. And sometimes it's also not personal. And that's the other thing. Stop making it personal. It's not about you. There's nothing wrong with you. And that's the other thing. We think that is something that we are doing. The only thing that you're doing subconsciously is that you're attracted to these kind of people and you allow them to connect. And you feel like it's up here, but to them it's maybe down here. And it doesn't mean it like they don't value you. It's just the way that they know how to love. So you want people that love at the level that you do. I did this with my friends recently when I wanted to, and it takes time, by the way. But when I want to attract a new group of friends, one of my requirement was like I did not want people who had drama. I used to attract friends who were very drama, and I'm like, no more. And I took my dog to the park. I met this girl who literally lives down the street from me, and she is drama free, and we've been friends for like 2 or 3 years now, and really drama free, like no drama at all, very simple life, 9 to 5, super sweet, and they're the most beautiful people. But I got it, I got what I wanted, and it's nice. It's nice. So does that make sense? But stop blaming yourself. This is not a matter of I'm not worthy, or it's kind of like a relationship. When I was attracted in the past, I would be attracted to people who never prioritize me. And so I had to break the cycle. And you got to understand that you are attracted to that for some reason. And oftentimes, what happens is the person that is good for you, that is right for you, you might not be attracted to. You might not think there is a connection because you're going to what is familiar. So, what is familiar to you? Maybe you had parents who were flaky. Maybe you had parents who made promises and didn't follow through with things. So the relationships that we create are the relationships that we grew up learning and, understood. Something there is like around that. So when you find somebody in the room and they're like, well, they're consistent with other people, but you might, I find them so boring. Maybe that's why you haven't been attracted to them, because sometimes they are boring. But that's okay. I like boring now. So that's why my friends in the past were very exciting, but they came with a lot of drama. So again, it's give and take, but what do you really, really want? So next time I challenge you to ask somebody to hang out or to go for a coffee or something, if you want to try and make a new friend who normally you wouldn't go for. But if you see them and they're consistent, they hold all of the values that you want, then you know that they're right for you. That's what happened with my husband. I was not attracted to my husband when I first met him at all. I totally friend zoned him. I thought he was gay, actually, the first time I met him, because he's so sweet and gentle. I didn't, I was like, we were friends for 3 years. And then one day when I was doing the healing work, I realized it's like he ticks all of the boxes of everything that I want from a person. I'm obsessed with him now. I love him. I'm super attracted to him now. But at first, I wasn't, because he was not familiar. Does that make sense? And he was the best decision of my entire life, FYI. Best decision I've ever made. Okay, so hopefully that helped, Rose. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. So first and foremost, guys, make sure, for those of you and you hang around, like as in like follow me or whatever. I've got a ton of courses, meditations, blah da da, all the stuff. If you enjoyed today, that would be great. If you have any more questions or anything, you can always find my profile on Insight Timer. And before we close out, guys, any more questions? Anything else you would like to ask or share? Feel free, as we are ready to close out soon. And since we already did a meditation before we did the cord cutting, I'm not going to end it with a meditation today, since we already did one. Unless you really want one, but I feel like that was pretty strong and enough. So let me know, guys, if you have any more questions. When I got the green card lottery, how many affirmations were you writing daily? That's a good question. I think for that point, almost every day for maybe I would say at least 6 months. But every manifestation manifests in a different time. It depends on your resistance. Some things I'm still trying to manifest today, and some things happen very quickly. It really depends on a lot of things, you know. So for me, if I really want something, I will write it until the day I die. I will keep writing and asking for that affirmation over and over again. Oh, that's awesome, Jay. I appreciate that. I'm glad it was that you got something out of it. You know, manifestation, it's like everybody, depending on so many things. It could be your karma, it could be your bloodline, it could be subconscious programming, it could be trauma. There are so many things that we resist, and so the affirmations basically remove that resistance more and more, and slowly you begin to embody it and become, you know, you believe it. Um, so but again, depending on the resistance, everybody has different levels depending on what it is. I'm running like 8 lines of affirmation. Oh, that's energy focus, one, carrier, and wealth, and yoga, nidra, resolution. I'm wondering if I need to shape my focus. Look, I write, as I said, I take my diary, and this is every day. It's the same thing for me. I just take a moment with myself. I write down all my affirmations, and I write a full page over and over again. Sometimes I repeat the same affirmation. Sometimes I do different ones. Every day is different for me. And my writing changes as well, by the way, my handwriting. You know, it's literally like it says here, affirmations. See? So every single day, I just write a whole page like, I am the chosen one. I am in demand. I am lucky. Um, I'm an actor in demand. I'm a magnet for love, joy, and wealth. I am wealthy. I'm healthy. You know, it depends again what's then I can't read my writing because my writing is so bad after a while. It starts off really clean and then I'm like, what the fuck? But I know what I'm saying. I book job after job. I'm a millionaire. I'm a multi-millionaire. I mean, you name it. I've transitioned out of full-time work via workforce reduction, not fully retired. I still feel unsettled sometimes, like nervous, even though I'm enjoying being a grandma. Oh, that's nice, Carol. Yeah, I mean, change can bring that uneasiness for sure. I got out of a toxic work situation a few months ago and new job hunting, but I think I am self-sabotaging the process. I think last job was let go suddenly and if affected my self-esteem a lot. Could you guide me on how to move on to manifest a healthy, fulfilling work? Sure, Ink. Let's see what the cards can say. So I don't, you know, affirmations again, guys, as well. You got to write something that first and foremost you believe you can achieve. When I started, I would not say to myself, I'm a millionaire. Okay, just first and foremost. I would say something like, I am learning how to be financially stable. I am learning how to make more and more money every day. The thing with affirmations is very important that you can't jump from 0 to 100. You have to do baby steps. So again, depending on your resistance, if you're poor and you're working a job where you're making barely any money, saying I'm a millionaire is going to be a little bit difficult. So I'm learning how to love myself every day. But I can say those affirmations now because first and foremost, I believe it's possible. And second of all, I'm also getting very close to that number. And third, you know, I've seen myself manifest and it took a long time for me to even get to that level. And yeah, if some people can sit there and go, oh, that's really cocky. I don't care. I am manifesting the things that I want. You know, I manifested a huge chunk of money this year, like a huge amount of money. If it works, I don't care. You know, your people's opinions should have no power over you guys. Does that make sense? And we make give people so much power. It's somebody's opinion who's not even living your life. It's crazy, but we do it. Okay. Okay, so a few things, my friend. So first and foremost, Ink, this is really Stretching, it's teaching you that you deserve more. And sometimes when we're learning self-worth or self-esteem, it goes the other way. So it's almost like it strips you for you in order to go one day enough, and then I can fight for it. Um, so one second, I'm just gonna. So I'm not sure what you mean by self sabotage, but what I am saying right now is that you have to be careful with what you say and what you do. So this is where the disconnect is for you. You say you're going to do something, but then you do something differently, and that's not in alignment with your manifestation. It could be self sabotage, but what's underneath that? Deep down, it's because maybe you don't feel worthy. Okay, it always comes down to that. So what I invite you to do is first and foremost, you got to step back and take a bigger look of the picture and start looking at things from a different perspective. What happened with the job, you're seeing it as a curse, as something bad that happened to you. That's not serving you, and it's not true. It happened because it is pushing you forward because you got too comfortable, and the universe is pushing you forward to grow. And when you grow, you're gonna be kicked in the butt. So through every adversity, there is treasure, there is gold. But if we don't see it that way, then yeah, we're gonna get stuck. So the wizard card, essentially, it's all about, I want you to think of it this way. I want you to think that you died. You've been dead for about a few months now, and you finally get to review your life. You get to look back at your life, look back at the situations. Now, I want you to start looking at your life from that place, not from an attachment, ego, all your belongings, money, status, all of that doesn't matter. None of that is important because you're dead. Okay. What matters is the relationship that you have with yourself. How did you stand up for yourself? Did you fight? Did you let go? Those are the things that matter from that perspective. So when you can look at it from that place, it's going to change your perspective of the situation, and that's how you're going to look at things. Right now, you're looking at it from an ego place, a wounded place, a place of identity that is the old. Have a fun run, Ryan. Enjoy it. Good night. So when we look at it from that higher perspective, it helps us understand things from a much, much deeper level. And what I'm also hearing here is that you got to start creating a new habit that serves you, a new way of processing your emotions, your situation from a different place. Because what you're doing right now is not working, obviously, and this is why you feel like crap. You're just basically treating yourself like crap. And just because things aren't working out, again, it's not a time to beat yourself up. It's not a time to think that things aren't possible. This is a time to understand why this is going on, and from that higher perspective, not from an ego wounded place, but from a higher perspective, is like, okay, I have power here. I can change things. What do I need to change? Whether it's my attitude, my perception, my actions, um, whatever it is. Does that make sense, Ink? Okay, you're welcome. Hopefully that helped. I know it's easier said than done, by the way, but advice is easier said than done. Sure, of course, Carol. Oh, okay. Well, they want a few cards for you. So, first card that you got is the tree spirits. The tree spirits urge you to seek wise counsel at this time. This may also be a sign that a wise individual will appear to offer you guidance in the situation. Stay open and receptive, allowing the wisdom to find its way to you. Just as tree grows tall with time and patience, so too will the insights you need to navigate this moment. So, first and foremost, this has been an abrupt change, even though it's been coming and you knew that it's been coming physically, emotionally, energetically. It's been like a sudden change of your life. And it's going to take time. It's going to take a little bit of time, Carol, for you to adjust, to adapt. But ultimately, what I'm hearing here is that you were of service before. You felt like you had a purpose. You felt like you were helping or doing something for the greater good. And now you're just basically not sure how to fulfill that. In fact, you got the flower fairies and then you got the myrrh fairies. So the flower fairies remind you of your inner beauty, strength, and worth. True confidence comes from within. Being gentle does not mean being weak, and being powerful does not mean being harsh. And so what this means as well for you is like not having a job does not mean you don't have a purpose. You can stand tall in your truth while embracing kindness and grace. See yourself through the eyes of love and let light shine without fear. The world needs your unique radiance and your energy and your time that you have now. So honor your self worth and bloom unapologetically. Are you feeling lost, dear one? The Myrrh Fairies are here to gently guide you back to your path. Nothing is ever truly lost. Um, you simply need time to reflect, process, and trust in divine timing. Clarity will come when you quiet your mind and allow the answers to flow. Be patient with yourself, and soon you will know exactly what to do. So it's time also for you to try new things, Carol. It's time for you to set on some kind of an adventure. I think because sometimes when we have also had a job before, we've been told our purpose, our structure, and we forget that we can think for ourselves, that you have the opportunity to give yourself meaning, maybe with your grandkids. What can you pass on? How can you fulfill yourself that way? But also, you can start a project. You can you know, um, write a book. You can do so much now because you've got the time to do it. It's just sometimes that we're afraid or we don't know where to start or we have all these questions or I don't have the skills. Who cares? Make it an adventure. What have you got to lose? Because it's either you're going to be bored and not sure where your intention is going to go, or you can make your mission to discover something that fulfills you, a hobby. Um, and it's about embodying that energy too. It's like literally following through, like the ideas that you have, follow through with them physically. Don't just sit there and dream about it and think, oh, this would be fun, and then don't do anything about it, because that's what most people do, and this is why they never go anywhere. This is such an opportunity for you to continue to discover who you are, Carol. Just because you're older and you retired, you don't have the job, your life has just begun. You keep going. We are infinite. So it's just another level, another way. So again, when we look at it from a place of lack, we feel like we've missed something. When we look at it from a place of abundance, it's like this infinite thing. I know for myself, I never get bored. I'm always doing projects. I'm always creating things, but it's hard to start because most people are afraid to fail or being judged or whatever. When you can get rid of that and make it just about the experience itself, not the outcome, life can be amazing. So, what are the limitations that you're putting on yourself? What are you afraid that you can and can't do? And stop telling yourself that and give yourself a new purpose. You can sit down and figure it out and you can change it, you can make it up. No one is making rules. Does that make sense, Carol? I hope that's helping. Love this. Yes, to all of this. I love the crafting. So, yes. And you could do it for charity. You could do it like just give yourself a goal. Just give yourself goals. It's going to fulfill you. And then when you can share that, when you maybe, let's just say you want to craft something and give it to a charity to raise money for something, or you want to put it up online to raise money again for something. I don't know, but it's going to give you so much purpose and fulfillment. Or for your kids for your grandkids, teaching them how to craft. There's so much out there that you can do, but don't let the little things in the head to stop you. Just do it. Just do it. Nike had it right. Just do it. Yes, absolutely. You have now, Carol, you have the power to be one of the most meaningful people in your grandson's life because you have the time and the energy. Well, maybe not the energy fully, but I know kids can be a lot, but you have the time. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful gift. So again, keep seeing it as a gift, an opportunity. This is an abundant mindset. Don't go into lack because you go into lack, that's where the suffering happens. All right, Cassie, yes, I'll pull a card for you. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so you got the star people. Something about your intuition they want you to know that is on point. So trust your intuition. You're so welcome, Carol. Ooh, okay, so then you also got the vampire card, my love. So Cassie, maybe something or someone is draining your energy, or maybe something isn't like fair, or I don't know. So, um, did I miss Chad? Chad? Oh, I'm sorry. I would like to try a card, please. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chad. Thank you so much for letting me know. So I'm going to do Cassie and then I got you, Chad, okay? Thank you for letting me know, Laura. I do sometimes miss people. And if I miss you, please speak up. I appreciate it. I'm in the zone. So, yeah. So, Cassie, I don't know if this is making sense, but essentially that's what I got. So, your intuition's on point on something. So, you need to trust your intuition on this. Yeah. And you got the vampire. So, your energy's being drained. Yeah, something is sucking out your energy and just got to put down stronger boundaries. Just got to say, I'm either going to put up with this or I'm either not. And it's okay for you to put your foot down and say, this is not for me. Okay. All right, Chad, do you have a specific question or do you just want a general card? You know, Chad reminds me of like the SNL skit with Jennifer Lopez. I don't know if you ever got that one before. You're like, probably every time. Yes. Yay, I'm so glad, Cassie. So let me know, Chad. Do you want a general? Do you want to? If you have a specific question that you need help with, then you can ask that question. That's perfectly fine. Or you can ask for just a general card. It's up to you. But sometimes having a clear direction or a question can also make the reading a little bit more specific to you. Okay, no problem. Let's see what comes up. You, they flew out. Okay, so Chad, you got the dolphin people. So when you get the dolphin people, essentially this card means that I think you're wanting to manifest something or change something in your life. And when we get the dolphin people, essentially it's like you're getting distracted. You're allowing your energy, your focus, your intention to be distracted. And if you want to make this thing happen, it's and you got the gnomes, the Incarnate gnomes. So it's really about first and foremost honoring the intention, the goal, or whatever it is, and releasing all the things that are toxic that are in the way. It's almost like having this like I'll read the card because I think it's going to make more sense. They encourage you to return to what is healthy, nurturing, and alignment with your true self. It's time to release toxic habits or traits that no longer serve you, grounding yourself, listening to your nature's guidance, and embracing the healing power of Mother Earth. So this is also a healing process for you. It's not just about setting a goal or an intention or a manifestation and saying, okay, all I got to do is focus and act through it. The obstacles show up or the distractions show up because these are behaviors like that need your attention to be healed. I don't know how else to describe it. Hopefully that's making sense. The other thing that you got is the mystic angel star. They encourage you to look beyond the surface and seek the truth within. The answers you seek isn't obvious. It requires introspection and willingness to see beyond the illusion. Trust your inner knowing, for the revelation may surprise you, leading you to deeper understanding and the answers you seek. So again, when we want to create something, it's energy first. And the problem is when we're not seeing evidence or when we're not getting affirmation or confirmation immediately, it's so easy for us to just go, well, see, it didn't work. Oh, well, go back to what I was doing. And again, when we make it about the outcome, we can self abandon. So you deep down understand energy. You deep down know there's something bigger and greater than that. And that is the most powerful transformation, is changing that inner intention, that inner healing, that energy within. And you might step back a couple of times, but just keep moving forward towards it. Oh, you got distracted again. Okay, let me go back on track. And again, the more you do this, eventually this line is going to strengthen and things are going to start changing. Things are going to start transforming. And then suddenly the evidence on the outside is no longer just energy, it's physical. It's the Jacqueline Show. Hey, Carla. Good to see you. Obviously. Wow, I so appreciate this. I'm healing part in my life big time. Yeah. But you got this, man. It's again, it's not meant to be easy, guys. But we do make it harder for ourselves too. You know, that's the other thing that we do. We make it a lot more difficult for ourselves for whatever reason. Don't know why. It's a thing that we do as humans. But my job is to tell you guys that you can also make it easier for yourself. And again, you got to be on your own team. You can't keep being your enemy. The world beats you up. The world is mean and terrible. I wish I was positive about it, but I'm not. It's a very dense, intense school that we're in. It's not an easy school. So then you treat yourself like crap and make it harder for yourself. So now you're getting beat from every angle, from within and around you. The one thing I will always teach people is that you gotta get on your own team and you gotta support yourself. If you can do that, life gets just a little bit easier. It's not as bad because it's pretty bad. If you want to look and find evil, it's everywhere. Of course, if you want to look and find good, there's that too. But personally, unfortunately, I'm still much more positive than I used to be, but I'm realistic. I'm just like, look, I don't think this planet is all fairies and butterflies. I mean, for me, even just the way we eat, we kill animals. We have to kill in order to survive. It's brutal and violent. I don't eat animals, but you know, we believe we have to. And to me, that already in itself is just like every day, everybody sits down and eats it. Like for me, that's how bad it goes. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I can only do my best here and like help heal and whatever. But I don't think it's meant to be easy. But we gotta be on our own side, guys. And when we do the healing work, everybody else starts getting better. And then the world gets better because we are doing the work for ourselves. But you've got to be on your own team. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm not judging people eating meat, by the way. I used to eat meat, blah, blah, blah. But it's one of the things I'm most passionate about. Obviously, I'm vegan. But, see, I have rats for a pet. So that should tell you everything. I think anybody who has a rat for a pet tells you a little bit about where they stand. So, yeah. So for me, it's all about the more healing work we do, the more inner peace, the more we become the very thing that we want to see in the world, the more we can change that world. And that's the only power that we have, really. That was my little preach for the day. Sorry about that for those of you who are like, oh gosh, what's going on about that? But I'm passionate about it and I love animals. They're such beautiful souls. And yeah, I do my best. But I think I'm going to adopt another dog. I'm going to convince my husband. I think he knows it's coming. He's just dreading it. It's going to happen. Anyway. So any more questions, guys, before we close out? Let me know. But in the meantime, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. I see that we had 172 people today that joined, which was kind of cool. I don't know if there's that many people watching now, or if like that many people popped in and just kind of thing, but that's awesome. So appreciated. And I love Insight Timer. They've been so good to us. I'm sure they're doing such amazing work for everybody. And yeah, that's it, guys. So make sure to check out my stuff again. If you resonated with today, there's going to be a ton of meditations. One of my biggest things is the meditations that I do. I do a ton of meditations that I channel, so I highly recommend you guys check those out because there's a bit of everything. I did get recently a bit of, criticism comes always, but everything that I do, there's one meditation that I did around releasing lower entities and stuff. And somebody said, because in the meditation I say now connect briefly to the entity, and somebody kind of freaked out about it, which I understand because if you are afraid of entities, well, that's how they survive. But everything that I do, usually it creates that energetic protection around you, so you are always safe. So whenever you go into anything, and if there's fear, just so you know, that's how the lower energies win. So if I have to say one final thought today, is just understand that fear makes you controllable. Again, easier said than done because I have my own fears and stuff. But one thing I've learned is that when you face it and you understand that you have power, this is with people, places, and things, it doesn't have as much control over you. Hey, Wezza, how you doing? Wezza, that's a great name. Typical Australian. Woo, all right. Well, Wezza, we're actually closing out right now, so you came right at the end as I'm closing out. But make sure to join the next live. Because it gets fun, it gets silly, it gets deep, it gets all the things today. But any more questions, guys, before we close out? Feel free. You're so welcome, Jay. Thank you. You're welcome, Chad, Bob. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so let's close out. I'm just going to send you guys so much love, so much light, and as always, have a magical day, guys. I will see you in the next live.